Putting this together, going, how come we don't have them in our homes? But anyway.
Sorry, ladies, this is your lead-in to this great upcoming segment.
That's awesome.
This is what we talk about here. It's 9:36 right now. Welcome back to CW Iowa Live. Yeah, it's a live program. It's the only live program that's on 3 hours a day from right here in Des Moines. And Stivers Ford Lincoln, right here in the Des Moines area, is downright proud to salute great organizations. And Jackie, boy, do we have a great one to talk about today.
CTE Hope is what we're talking about.
And we do have a couple of people joining us. Sue Wilson is the founder and chief research and development officer for CTE Hope. And also our good friend Brenda Easter is here. How are you?
Good morning.
Good morning.
And, first of all, explain the organization and what this is all about.
Well, CTE Hope was founded to honor my son Zach's last wishes. We lost him to CTE about a year and a half ago.
Explain what CTE is.
CTE stands for chronic traumatic encephalopathy. And it's basically inflammation in the brain that eventually develops some tau protein, and it literally kills your brain cells.
Wow, and how did this happen to your son?
Well, it happens through traumatic brain injury, and typically in athletes it's concussions.
Oh, it is. And that's why, thankfully, concussions now are being taken a lot more seriously than they have in the past, haven't they?
We have to, whether we like it or not. The treatment that we have currently in place is not enough. We know now that the injuries that are sustained 5 years ago are affecting our athletes today. And I think CTE was once thought of as an injury to NFL players.
Right, football players.
It's not. It's a disease that is over time caused by the inflammation in the brain, and if it's not treated properly right away, can lead into long-term, really severe impacts.
Now,
to
Brenda,
our
can I
athletes.
ask about Zach real quick? Do we know what happened with Zach?
Zach had roughly 5 confirmed concussions, but what was remarkable about Zach is that he left journals. He actually documented how he felt and what he was going through, and he talked about in his journals how he sustained his first probably concussion when he was in 5th grade when he was playing youth football.
Seriously.
And then in 6th grade we had severe medical issues. We went through all kinds of doctors, CTs, CAT scans, you name it, and at that time they knew nothing really about CTE, and reasonably so, because we don't have a lot of information right now, and thought it was hormonal, and it wasn't. Continued to play football throughout his high school career. It ended when he was a senior. He didn't get to finish his senior year. He had several, his last 2 being before the end of the season, that put him out for the year. Couldn't wrestle that year as well. School started suffering, he was having issues focusing. He got a little better. What was remarkable about Zach is he did his own research on CTE. He suspected that he had the disease well before any of the medical profession really knew anything about it.
He knew something was going on in the brain.
He didn't feel right. He talks about it in his journals, very detailed, how he felt, how anxiety, slurred speech, memory loss, anxiety, all these things started affecting him long term, and they kept getting worse and worse and worse. And what he did, remarkably, as a young man, he did his own research and figured out and attempted to retrain his own brain. If you can imagine.
How about that? Wow.
If you can imagine a young man and every medical professional failing him because nobody really understood what CTE was, or really even still is, because a lot of research needs to be done.
Right.
And figuring it out himself.
Well, obviously an incredible man that we're sad that we had to lose. But let's talk about CTE Hope and the great work that it's doing.
Yeah, we are an organization, and when we really started this, we wanted to just make sure that we were an organization full of action. Okay, there's a lot of research being done right now on the NFL, and rightly so, with their brains at 40, 60-year-olds, but we want to focus on the youth and the local and that population. So we believe, I'm also a certified and licensed athletic trainer, so I'm in the trenches with these kids. Zach was one of my athletes, and I was one of the ones that released him back to play after a lot of those head injuries because we followed our protocol that we have. And the protocol is not good enough. It needs to be changed, and we got to get inside we have to be able to evaluate the brain. So through our organization, we are doing, we did a pilot study in the fall, actually using athletes' saliva to see, it's a point of care device. So they basically spit into a little tube. We freeze it at -80 and we send it off to the lab. And we're really looking for biomarkers in the brain that could show us that there is some type of injury to the brain. And so our goal is to, be able to follow this through their healing process, because I believe we're returning these kids back to play too soon, but nobody really knows. No one's gotten inside the brain.
There needs to be new practices in place.
Absolutely.
And further research.
And
on
if saliva can't give it to us, we'll go
Try
see if
something
blood
else.
or urine, whatever we can do to keep everybody safe, really. And that's what CT Hope's all about. Is the Easter family loves sports. We love sports. Our entire organization loves sports, but we know that they have to be safer.
And you mentioned it's every sport. It isn't just one sport in particular. It doesn't matter what you're talking about. You have to take this very seriously.
Absolutely.
All right, well, there's a big event coming up that we want to make sure everybody knows about.
We do. We're hosting a gala on April 21st. And every dollar that we raise from the gala is going to be used to go for the research that's going to help keep our athletes safe. It's going to go for public awareness to to inform our athletes and their parents about the dangers of concussions. It's going to go for to help develop the device that's going to help us determine a better protocol for return of play for our athletes. And then finally, we're going to use that money to help support some legislation to protect our athletes.
All good things. So let's talk about the gala and the fun we're going to have while we're also helping out this incredible cause.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. We've got a lineup of some really great professionals. I'll be speaking that evening, telling a little bit about Zach's story and his remarkable journey. Unfortunately, I wish we would have had the information that we have today. Back when he suffered, we've advanced a lot more in the information that we can share. We're going to talk to some other of the medical professionals who have some non-evasive and more natural ways to help heal the brain, which is so critical. You have to think of it this way. Our brains are like some jello inside of an eggshell. And it just bounces around when you're especially playing contact sports or any other really sports, anything actually. And when you injure it, what happens to the jello? It gets all kind of mushy and kind of runny. So we've got to figure out how to do that. So you're going to hear from some professionals on how we can start using some natural ways to heal and some other ways as well. We're going to have an online silent auction. We've got some incredible things that people can bid on. We're going to actually open that April 10th.
Okay.
So people who can't attend the gala, they can bid on those online auction items starting on April 10th, I think at midnight.
So you can participate no matter what.
No matter what.
No excuses.
No excuses.
Oh,
and the tickets are $65 a person, and I think it's $520 for a table of 10.
Okay.
We're going to have a musical live performance from my niece, Gabrielle Kletter. She is a phenomenal opera singer. She's a Drake student now, but she studied worldwide. And that alone is worth the ticket price.
There you go.
Because she's amazing. And so, we're just going to make it a really fun evening, informational as well, because again, it's all about spreading the word about the dangers of concussions and getting proper treatment.
Wonderful. If people want more information, they want to learn how they can check out these silent auction items, is there a place they can go to get on board?
Go to cte.org.
That's easy enough.
That's pretty simple there. How about that?
ctehope.org.
Okay.
There we go.
So just check that out. Again, advances are being made with this, and more, I think what's really important is more and more professional athletes, regardless of what sport we're talking about, have stepped up and said, you know something, there's something wrong here, concussion-wise, and they are stepping back from their sport, and that has really drawn attention to it, which is what needed to happen.
It is critical because, listen, our athletes, our parents have no idea. If we would have had the information back when Zach played, we would have made different decisions. And I know most coaches, I know most parents, and I know it's hard on an athlete who loves the sport so passionately and just wants to play. But if it's life-saving and it's time for them to stop because their brain's not healing, so be it.
Yeah.
I wish we would have had that information because I feel like Zach would be alive today.
Well, thank you for sharing your story, and both of you for sharing your passion and getting the word out. Hopefully more people are learning from this and will go to your event and participate and continue the awareness.
Well, you're both invited.
Thank you.
Gala for Hope again Friday, April the 21st. So more information. What is the website again?
ctehope.org.
Okay.
There it is. Okay. We got it. Thank you so
five.
much. High five. Good to see you again, buddy. We'll be right back. It is 9:26. This is CW Iowa Live.